Coach, how would you describe this game tonight?
Yeah, kind of a weird game in a sense of I don't think both teams offensively had much flow, right? And the scoring was obviously down, which is credit to good defense. I think we played good defense, and they certainly played good defense too with their physicality and kind of their length. But yeah, I think it seemed like a lot of free throws, you know what I mean? One of them games where, calls here, calls there type of thing. But yeah, not great flow, but yeah, you got to win different types of games and maybe not the style that we necessarily like to play, but at the same time, obviously, we take a win however we could get it.
You know, again, it's a game to where I never like to blame the referees, and I know you want every call to go your way, but I think the referees were kind of taking a stance of, fellas, play defense with your feet and quit grabbing all the time.
Right, and yeah, there's a lot of teams, I think, that are very physical, and sometimes, I don't know that it's necessarily our style or what we're preaching. I think sometimes we just don't move our feet. We don't play a ton of guys. It's not like our styles that we're going to overly play physical on the ball. But, yeah, I think it was not – I'm not blaming the referees at all. It was just one of them games where, both teams are kind of, maybe a little bit too aggressive or a little too hyped and maybe lost a little discipline here and there. But I don't know what the numbers were. I didn't look at it, but it seemed like a ton of free throws for us for sure. And, I don't know about them. But which credit to, I thought we were strong on our drives and whatnot to get to the free throw line and kind of play through contact. But I thought in the first half we shot a ton of free throws.
Well, there's no secret that Melrose wants to go to Ronnie Engelmeyer, and Engelmeyer only had 3 baskets tonight. What's the game plan against him?
Yeah, I mean, in general, we're pretty familiar with obviously what they've done over the years, and you try to implement it kind of throughout the year because, again, this is, we didn't have a practice, obviously, and we definitely wanted to beat West Central, and we're disappointed in the outcome, not necessarily the effort overall. But at the same time, our general game plan was just to try to pick them up full a little bit more than we would just to disrupt some of their timing. They're so good at running, their sets, and they're good at screening, and there's misdirection and deception within it all. So I thought that was one thing we tried to do to disrupt some of the sets, to limit his easy ones. But he's a heck of a player. I like watching him play. He's very smooth and calm and controls the game. But yeah, I guess that's in general kind of our general game plan. I thought Jay did a good job guarding him and. For the most part.
And then on your side, too, there's no secret, Jay Newbert. He draws a crowd. There's always 1, 2, 3 guys on him. So how do you kind of combat that as well, and what does Jay Newbert have to do then?
Yeah, I think sometimes, we want him. He's so good on the catch that sometimes I think he's just got to give it up and try to get it back. But sometimes I feel bad watching him play, how hard he has to play to get the ball, to get his shots, to get an open look, and I would like us to do a little bit better job of screening, right? How are you supposed to get somebody open if you don't screen? We rely a lot on dribble penetration. But at the same time, I thought late in the game, we executed some late shot clock to get them the ball in the post and, put some pressure on their defense. And, I guess that's my answer. But like I said, he just plays hard, and he's got a motor for sure. I'm sorry to keep talking, but he's in shape, obviously. But I think I'm excited to see how he progresses in shape. We've been trying to limit some of the stuff within practice, which people would never know, right? But his conditioning's only going to get better as we get into these games, and we've been trying to limit him a little bit in practice just to try to keep him healthy, if that makes sense.
When I watch Matthew Waring play, he just brings so many different elements to the team. First of all, I think his leadership in the sense that, he's the quarterback on the football team. We saw him, what he did out there on the football field, and now he brings that to the basketball court as well. But I mentioned, too, during the game, he's a very versatile player. How many things is he doing out there for the team? Yeah,
if we didn't have him, we wouldn't be able to switch, right? We do a lot of switching, and he can guard a big, he can guard a guard, he can guard a thick dude, he's tough. And he's smart. This is his 4th year, which is part of it, but, he's very rarely in foul trouble for somebody who's guarding all sorts of different type of players. Sometimes he's guarding people quicker than him. Sometimes we put him on a shooter. Tonight he had Gorui, 6'8", long, you know what I mean? And last night he had the, West Central's best player who does it, taller than him and kind of a post player. So he guards all different types. I'm just proud of him. He's been a leader for us. Last year he kind of got a lull where he wasn't shooting the ball very well, and then offensively I thought he took a step back from where we thought he would be, and that's not the case this year.
Every game in the conference, too, is always a battle, and you've got 3 away games next week. What does that look like for you? Because then it wraps up with your stomping grounds, too, at BBE on Friday.
Yeah, we actually have 6 straight away games. So that's, the next week we're at at Royalton, at Minnewaska, and then, we play in a breakdown in Alexandria. So, 6 straight away games, but, next week's going to be tough. At Benson, a team that, I haven't watched a ton. I got to watch a little bit this weekend. And then Morris, obviously that game, when we played them last time, it's not going to be that type of game, right? I thought it was, they're another team that's very physical, and it was a game that was not allowed to be physical. So we're going to have to embrace that physicality on Thursday, and then BBE, they can play with anybody, right? They got Pipers scoring, around 30 points a game. So that's going to be a tough game, especially in a 3-game week, all on the road. But every team wants to have their schedule, challenge them, because, the reality is if you're going to win 4 games in March, which why play 26 games if you don't think you can win 4 in a row in March, you're going to have to win 3 games in a week, right? They're not going to be at home, and they're going to be physical, and they're going to be against different teams. So I think that's kind of what next week brings to us.
Say also, too, to mention a very good crowd both ways here tonight. Did the guys kind of respond to that, do you think?
Yeah, I was pumped, right? I always say coaching's fun. I would way rather play, right? I would love to go out there and play, especially when you crowd kind of a rivalry, obviously a rivalry cross town. And it should be fun. I think it's, that's the best thing about sports, right? And I always say it to our guys, right, if we do fail, right, or play bad or this and that, like, we're better to fail and learn from it than high school sports at the end of the day.